The book of Genesis ended with Joseph saving his family in Egypt. But Exodus begins with a new Pharaoh who forgets Joseph and enslaves God's people. But God never forgets his promises. In Exodus, we see the God who hears, the God who rescues, and the God who dwells among his people. Exodus chapter 3, verse 7, I have seen the misery of my people, and I've come down to rescue them. God's people multiply in Egypt. Pharaoh, afraid of their growing numbers, enslaves them and orders the death of all Hebrew baby boys. But one baby survives, Moses. He's placed in a basket on the Nile and rescued by Pharaoh's daughter. He grows up in the palace, but at age 40 flees Egypt after killing an Egyptian. He lives in the wilderness for another 40 years until God calls him back. Exodus chapter 2, verse 24. God heard their groaning and remembered his covenant with Abraham. While tending sheep, Moses sees a bush that burns but isn't consumed. God speaks. Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. I am who I am. His brother Aaron will speak for him. Moses returns to Egypt with God's power and promise behind him. Moses stands before Pharaoh and says the famous words. Exodus chapter 5, verse 1, let my people go. Pharaoh refuses. God sends 10 plagues to demonstrate his power. 1. Water to blood. 2. Frogs. 3. Lice. 4. Flies. 5. Livestock death. 6. Boils. 7. Hail. 8. Locusts. 9. Darkness. 10. Death of the firstborn. Each plague strikes at Egypt's God, showing the Lord is greater. But Pharaoh's heart remains hard. Before the final plague, God gives Israel instructions for Passover. Kill a spotless lamb and put its blood on your doorposts. The angel of death will pass over every home covered by the blood. Exodus chapter 12, verse 13. When I see the blood, I will pass over you. That night, Egypt mourns. Pharaoh finally lets them go. The Israelites leave Egypt after 430 years in slavery, free at last. But Pharaoh changes his mind and chases them. At the Red Sea, God parts the waters. Israel walks through on dry ground, and Pharaoh's army is swallowed. Exodus chapter 14, verse 14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. The Israelites sing a song of deliverance, but in the desert, they quickly complain about water, food, and safety. God provides manna, bread from heaven, water from a rock. Victory over Amalekites through Moses' raised hands. God is patient and provides, but the people struggled to trust. At Mount Sinai, God makes a covenant with his people. He descends in fire and smoke, and the mountain trembles. God gives 10 commandments, revealing his moral law. I am the Lord your God, you shall not have strange gods before me. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember to keep holy the Lord's day. Honor your father and mother. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not covet your neighbor's goods. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. You shall have no other gods before me. Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your father and your mother. The people are terrified but agree. All that the Lord has spoken we will do. God calls Moses up the mountain for 40 days. While Moses is on the mountain, the people grow impatient. They build a golden calf and worship it. God is angry, but Moses pleads for mercy. Exodus chapter 34, verse 6. The Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love. Even in rebellion, God's mercy shines. God gives instructions for the tabernacle, a portable temple. Why? So he can dwell with his people. The Ark of the Covenant, the altar, the lampstand, the priestly garments, it all points to God's holiness and desire to be near. Exodus chapter 40, verse 34. Then the cloud covered the tent, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. God is not distant. He lives among his people. Exodus shows us the God who delivers, the God who speaks, and the God who stays. He brings his people out of bondage and invites them into covenant and communion. It's the story of freedom not just from Egypt, but from sin, fear, and idolatry. The journey isn't over. But the God of Exodus still leads us today. Exodus chapter 33, verse 14, My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest.
Unsure to go, you called my name and told me so. You're not alone, for I will be the God of all eternity. You said, tell them I am sent you. The one who was the one most true. I've seen the pain, I've heard the cry. Now go with me, I'll stand nearby. You are I am, forever near. You break the chains, remove the fear. From burning bush to promised land, we walk in faith. You are not by power, not by might, but by your name, by holy light. You call the weak and make them strong. Your name is hope, our victory song. You are forever near. You break the chains. but you heard us from above and came down in mighty love. You brought us out of the fire, led by grace and holy power. With every step you made a way. We are free because you stayed. You brought us out of the fire. Through waters deep and wide, you stood there by our side. The enemy chased us down, but you broke through with glory crown. You brought us out of the fire, led by grace and holy power. With every step you made a way. We are free because you stayed. You brought us out of the fire. You brought us out of the fire. You split the sea, you crushed the fear. Your mighty hand is always near. You lead us still, you never tire.